Hey guys, Marsegan here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to talk about Daima Goku and his banner that is going to be coming out very soon in the game. In fact, the banner is out a bit earlier than other banners. This video is dropping at like 10 PM UK time and the banner comes out at like 1 AM. So pretty much when this video goes up, if you're watching it straight away, the banner is going to be out in like 3 hours. So we're going to talk about, as always with these big releases, my thoughts on whether you should summon or whether you should skip. Now, as always, there's a few things to go over, as I mentioned at the beginning of all of these videos. This advice is primarily aimed at people who are free to play or who maybe just spend a little bit here and there, where obviously maximizing the value for your stones is the most important thing. If you're a whale or a collector or just someone who has been super hyped for Daima stuff to come to Dokkan and you were going to summon for it regardless, then obviously, you know, you're going to summon whether I say to summon or skip or not, right? But this is, like I say, aimed at people to maximize their stone spending, because we're not only going to talk about the Goku himself, what the banner potentially looks like and all that stuff to determine whether or not he himself is actually worth summoning for, but we also talk about, when it comes to these sorts of things, the landscape of the game, like what else is going on and what else is going to be going on. Because obviously, you know, it's not just a case of, well, yeah, summon for Goku now, use all your stones, and then you don't have to worry about, you know, what's around the corner, right? So all of that plays a role in deciding whether or not to summon on each of these individual banners. So to start off, we'll break it down into a couple of points. Daima Goku himself, I think, is really good. I did the private server showcase for him earlier, so do check that out if you haven't seen it. At Rainbow Full Level 10 links, he's definitely very impressive. His team is going to be super fun. It's going to be getting a bunch of buffs. So I really like him as a unit. So if it was a case of just existing in a vacuum and, you know, we didn't have certain things right around the corner in terms of big, you know, the anniversary is obviously the big one, right? I would say this guy is absolutely worth summoning for, just solely on the merits of like how good he is as a card, right? I don't think there's any issues there. Obviously, there is the potential, as there always is with characters that start coming out towards the end of the calendar year, where the anniversary is then going to happen at the end of January, and if there's a significant power creep in the difficulty of the anniversary content, then characters that have come out even just before the anniversary don't necessarily always survive that power creep. But I think this guy's going to be in a pretty good spot, especially against Key Blast bosses. So when it comes to, is he worth summoning for purely on the merits of the card himself, then I think the answer is yes, he is definitely very good. And then of course we have his banner unit, the Mini Piccolo. I think he's very good as well. He has the potential like to be one of the best banner units that we've seen come out recently. You know, on the second turn, if he's in slot 3, he has a 100% chance to dodge. So in shorter events, it's like as a slot 3 floating support, he's got 90% chance to dodge. Let's say he's on the very first turn, so he's on turn 1, he's got 90% chance to dodge. You float him off in slot 3, he comes back on turn 4 and he has a 100% chance to dodge. And because Daima Goku can do so much damage, in the shorter events, like, you're not going to get to turn 7 for this guy to come back again and be a liability. So he is very good and a very good banner unit. Now, the other thing, of course, is what is the banner itself going to look like? So this is the baby banner, which is obviously the most recent Dokkan Fest banner. We can do a pretty much direct comparison because we know that there are going to be pity coins for this banner. They were in the data download, which means the banner is going to be of a very similar format where we are going to have 10 featured units. So obviously Daima Goku and Piccolo are going to be the first two. I'm actually not sure who is next in line to return. Is it too early for Tao to come back? Oh yeah, we already talked about it in the I did a video about the banner. The Kid Goku from Saiyan Day, I think, has an almost certainty spot of being on this banner. Daima Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta could be on here, Glorio and Daima Goku potentially. There's a lot of options for units that could be on this banner that could be pretty good. Goku's leader skill is Demonic Power or Pure Saiyans, so I would imagine most of the units that they use to fill the slots on the banner are going to be either Pure Saiyans or Demonic Power. And of course, the other thing that we have to keep in mind is that when we do see the banner lineup, there is a possibility that we get a character in this, like, one of these last slots that is going to be indicative of like who is going to get an easy A. Now, funnily enough, for this banner we didn't, right? None of these characters got easy A's or super easy A's during this baby celebration, but we do often see that. One of the characters we talked about in another video is like the AGL Kid Gohan, the one from the Garlic Jr. thing that has the unit super with Piccolo or Krillin. Like, if he's on this banner, I would almost guarantee that that means it's because he's going to get an easy A in this celebration, which would be pretty cool because he's on Goku's full leader skill. He's a good defensive support. He has an active skill that heals. Like, he could definitely be a great addition to the teams. So the banner itself has the potential to be pretty good. Like, if it has Glorio and Daima Goku on it as well, definitely very decent. Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta maybe has potential to make a bit of a comeback on this team with the slightly higher leader skill and all of the support that's going to be available. There is a decently high possibility that he could actually be very good on this team, but obviously, you know, we won't know for sure until we actually get him in game and start doing some of the testing. But I feel like he could end up being a very solid unit on this team, but again, that kind of remains to be seen. And then the rest of the banner, obviously there's going to be some duds in here, right? Like on this baby banner specifically, you can see we've got like Android 21 and the STR17s, who at this point are just completely outdated and not really usable for any difficult content. But that's always going to be the case with these Dokkan Fest banners, especially the ones that are with a pity and have like the 10 featured units. They're always going to have some of these like mid filler units on the banner. So in terms of the overall value of the banner, outside of the Goku and the Piccolo, there's a couple of potential options for characters on here that could increase the value of the banner, like Glorio, who I think will be probably an auto run on Goku's team. But for the most part, when it comes to these filler like Dokkan Fest banners, the banner itself is probably not going to be the craziest, unless of course we do see a unit that's going to get an easy A that potentially could be, you know, that's the thing, it's going to be hit or miss as well, right? If a character gets featured on this banner, which then indicates they're going to get an easy A, they could then be like AGL Bardock level easy A, and then summoning on the banner for the chance to get some extra copies of them if you didn't have them rainbowed before they easy A'd will have then not been worth it. But I'm not sure that we will necessarily see that be the case. So in terms of the banner itself, probably not going to have the craziest value, so I wouldn't necessarily think summoning on the banner is going to be hinged on, like, you know, it's not going to be one of those things where it's like, oh wow, this banner lineup is great, like you have to summon on this, right? It's probably not going to be one of those kind of banners. Now obviously when we talk about summon or skip, we're not talking about the free tickets. It's a shame that I even have to mention that, but I mean, it could have just been a troll comment. I could have just been baited, I guess. But like, somebody did literally comment on the very first summon or skip video that I ever did once the free tickets had been introduced, was someone was like, well, of course I'm going to summon, there's free tickets. And it's like, okay, we're obviously talking about not the free tickets, right? Everyone should be summoning with the free tickets, that is a given. But then after that, are you going to summon any more, right, is the question. So the free tickets are there, make sure you get those and use those first. Then of course Global is going to have purchasable tickets, as we always do now for basically every banner. So this doesn't apply for free-to-play players, even if you spend a little bit here and there. Like, they usually do a smaller ticket pack, which isn't too bad, and then the larger one is like $30 to $40, so more than some people are willing to spend in like a month on Dokkan. The small ticket pack like could potentially be worth it if you want to pick that up. I think that's usually like $7 to $9, something like that. But then of course the banner is confirmed, as we've already mentioned, to have the pity coins on it. So that does mean that basically as long as you're committed, which again, not necessarily the best idea with everything coming up, but if you spend 1,000 stones on this banner, you will get a copy of Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Now in reality it's usually going to be less than that, because obviously you get extra coins for any SSRs that you trade in, which, I mean, some people are not necessarily in a position where they are going to be pulling tons of these SSRs to trade in, but yeah, for most people I would imagine you're probably not going to be in a situation where you desperately need, like, you know, you're going to be getting every single multi as like multiple extra coins. Some people are, obviously, like me, if you've been playing the game for a very long time. A lot of the time, multis for me, every guaranteed SSR in the 10th slot that's just like a random filler unit ends up being a unit that I don't necessarily need. But obviously that is what it is. But the thing is, again, with Pity, what we're talking about is what's happening around the corner. So the big thing, of course, is the anniversary is going to be going on at the end of January. if you're dropping 1,000 stones now to guarantee that you pull Daima Goku, that's 1,000 less stones that you have for the anniversary. And remember, if you go into the anniversary with around about 1,000 stones, the anniversary usually gives out somewhere between 1 and 1,500, which means if you're going in with 1,000 stones to start off with, that puts you very much in that range that with all the stones you're going to get by doing the anniversary events and everything, you'll be able to hit the actual pity for the anniversary banners. So if you're going into the anniversary with at least 1,000 stones, you're essentially working towards being guaranteed one of the anniversary headliner cards, which is obviously very, very good. Then of course the other big thing that's going to be occurring is, of course, we have this, like, the manga characters banner, which isn't coming out on the same day as Goku. We believe it's like a week or two later, potentially in the time slot where like the heroes banner would come out. And this is going to be 30 stones per multi. Every multi gives you 3 of these manga cards guaranteed, and because of the way the pity coins work for this banner, every 4 multis gives you enough coins to be able to get one of the cards. So you could realistically, in like 120 stones, you're going to get 4 multis. That's going to give you 12 of these cards, and then an extra one from the pity coins. That's obviously not enough to rainbow them all, but like 240 stones, like 2 sets of 4 summons, you could potentially end up rainbowing all of these. So that's something to bear in mind. And these are collector's cards. Legends specifically mentioned on their 40th anniversary collaboration stuff that those things probably won't be returning. Dokkan didn't mention that specifically, but obviously that's something you have to bear in mind, right? These cards might not ever come back. So even if you just want one of each for collection purposes, that's stones that you have to think about having to spend, which, you know, if you go all out on Daima Goku, you're not going to be able to. And again, even if you do want to summon for some of these guys for the collection purposes, that is also going to be stones that you're then not going to have for the anniversary. I'll probably do a separate summon or skip video for these anniversary cards when we know exactly when their banner is going to come out. But that's another thing to bear in mind, is that these units are going to be just around the corner as well. So if you go all in on Daima Goku, then you're not going to have stones to summon for these manga characters. So that is something to bear in mind. So basically what it comes down to is summon or skip for Daima Goku. This is one of those real tough ones where, unfortunately, I do think that if you're free to play or you spend very little on the game, it's going to be a skip. It's a tough skip because I think he is really good. His leader skill is really good. But just bear in mind, as always, the big thing is the anniversary being around the corner, and the fact that, as is usually the case, one of the anniversary units, whether it, you know, whichever one of the 4 it ends up being, like one of the anniversary units is almost certainly going to be the new best unit in the game. And you don't want to be in a situation where you are unable to get any copies of any of the big headliner units because you summoned all your stones for Daima Goku or even the manga characters, and then you're unable to get these crazy anniversary headliners who, you know, like I say, should all be very, very good, and also, you know, at least one of them has the potential to be the new best unit in the game. I think one of them very much still is going to be adult Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and that is the thing, right? Like, you're going to want to have this guy if they are dropping the adult one as part of the anniversary, because of course they're going to go super well together and that setup is going to be really fun to run. But this guy will be back at some point. The anniversary LRs are going to be a little bit rarer and a little bit tougher to pull. And of course, you know, overall quality wise are going to end up being better most of the time. So that's the big thing. If they drop an anniversary adult Diamond Super Saiyan 4 Goku and he's the best unit in the game, you kind of don't want to be in a situation where you're like, well, I spent a bunch of stones, at least I've got the mini one, but now I can't get the adult one, who is going to end up being better, right? So that is something to bear in mind. So again, in summary, summon or skip. Unfortunately, I would say it's a skip for anyone who is free to play or just spends, you know, a little bit here and there. Obviously, you know, free tickets, good luck with those. Hopefully they will come in clutch for people, but it's obviously not something you can rely on or anything. As I've said many times before, right, I have never pulled the new unit for free off of the tickets, which one day it will happen for me. I would love it to happen this time around, because I too am in that situation where I don't want to spend a ton of stones before the anniversary. So if I can end up getting the Daima Goku off of the tickets, that would be very, very nice. But I guess we will have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Are you hyped for the Daima stuff coming to global? Are you just going to summon regardless, like, you know, anniversary and all that other stuff be damned, you want Daima Goku in your box? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. But yeah, the banner will be out in a couple of hours time. I will be live to summon, so hopefully I will see you guys there for those. Hopefully we can all get some decent luck. My streams usually end up being pretty good in the luck sense, in the fact that there's always seemingly people in the chat getting the guaranteed animations quite early on in the summoning session. So hopefully that stream luck carries over to any of you guys who do decide to come and hang out once the stream has begun. But yeah, hopefully I will see you guys there. So let me know everything you guys are thinking about it down below. Are you summoning? Is it a tough skip? Are you skipping and you're not particularly happy about it? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.